See, because there was a time in my life when I thought I'd never live to see another sunrise. Somehow when you got incoming mortars raining around you, when they're walking the mortars in on you, when the machine gun bullets are kicking mud in your face, that's something to worry about. When you try to get some sleep at night, but you can't because you hear the enemy out in the woods singing their song, their taunting song of victory. You shove cartridge cases in your ears to mute the sound, but it's still there in the background. I tell you, I learned a long time ago not to worry about anything. Back in the days when the name on my uniform said Greaseman, but everybody knew me as Sergeant Fury. Twang Tree, 1967. We were marching on patrol. Yep, right, yep, to the yep, right, yep. Sergeant Fury is my name. Set up, yep. Killing commies is my game. To the left, yep. I don't know, but I've been told. Yep, 2, 3, 4, Eskimo cooters mighty cold. Left to the left, go, left. Oh, he came upon this village. There wasn't anybody around. Nobody except this water buffalo that was chained to a stake. We looked around, wasn't anybody in the hoochies. Wasn't anybody in the fields, nobody working the rice paddies, just that buffalo chained there. I said, what do you think, men? Sea rations get a little old, aren't they? How long has it been since you've had a big, thick steak? Screamed, too long, Sarge, too long. I said, all right, cut it down. Yeah, easy. We want a steak, not too long. Ceasefire. Crying out loud, he's on the ground already. Well, we butchered that thing and we cooked it up nice. Oh, man. We were sitting there belching and picking our teeth after eating that charcoal broiled water buffalo. All of a sudden, one of our choppers came in. A lieutenant jumped out, looked at us there, and said, my God, Dad! Don't tell me you ate that water buffalo. We said, yeah, we did. We couldn't find any of the locals around. Looked like it had been abandoned, so we ate it. He said, you fool. That water buffalo is being used for a medical experiment. We're testing chemicals that haven't even been heard of yet inside that water buffalo, trying to gauge its reaction on human. I mean, we're talking Agent Orange. We're talking anything known to man that could possibly be used against the enemy. We're testing on that water buffalo. That's why we have it out here isolated. We got all the townspeople away. They're so toxic, Lord knows what it'll do. And you mean to tell me you ate the flesh of that water buffalo? He said, you men are hereby quarantined to the field. We'll be back. Be back with a team of medical scientists. See you later. And he took off. We just looked at each other and thought, uh-oh. None of us moved. When suddenly, I felt some pain in my shoulder blades, and I felt myself undergoing a transformation, and sure enough, from my left shoulder blade, out popped a wing. From my right shoulder blade, out popped the wing. I looked at the men, and sure enough, Calachecki, Di Lorenzo, Robinson, all of them started popping wings. We all stood there with our shirts off. I started flapping mine. The other guy started flapping theirs. Sure enough, I found when I flapped it, my feet rose slightly off the ground, and I realized I could fly. The other guys started tentatively, too, lifting themselves off the ground, and before I knew it, we were all at 1,000 feet, flying in formation. We had become the Winged Warriors of Death. Silent, deadly, each man armed to the teeth, grenades, automatic weapons. We had it all. We went into known NVA territory. We went in low. Then we bivouacked, having breakfast. We came in and we opened up! meat grinder. Like a meat grinder. We flew back to the butchered buffalo. We're all standing around congratulating ourselves, but our wings started disappearing. Retreating back into our shoulder blades. Before you know it, we were standing there just as normal men. And suddenly I got this tremendous pain in my guts. It was like I had to take a massive, and I laid an egg about the size of a softball. I just looked at it. Thought, my God. About 2 hours later, the lieutenant with a team of surgeons, I could see him coming over the horizon in their chopper. I stood there smoking a Camel as the birds settled down, and they said, any toxic effects? I said, yeah, we grew wings for a while, but the wings disappeared. He said, my God. I said, I ended up laying an egg about the size of a softball. He said, you what? You laid an egg? The doctors were all enthusiastic, screaming, slapping each other on the back. My God. Just think about it. We'll examine it. We'll make history. We'll make experiments. We'll make changes in our chemical formulas. I just said, we made breakfast. I'm sorry.